don't have a cup of tea. I only have a 1970s handbag because I'm still here. So I'm so sorry.
Oh, darling. We missed you on Saturday, darling.
Yes, I understood the viewing figures. Yeah, the viewing figures
not there
plummeted.
on Saturday, Harriet?
That funny, possibly less.
Right. Let's see. Harriet, you're going to bring in our guest today, our first guest.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot tell you how excited I am to bring into our nest the amazing actor, Frazer Hines.
There
Hello,
he is. Oh, there he is, looking very dapper. Good afternoon. Hey.
How are you, darling?
I didn't sleep a wink last night. You know, when you've got to be up for something, you toss it, you look, will your alarm go off? Will you? I mean, I can sleep through till noon like a baby because I had to be up this morning and washed, shaved, showered, and ready for you girls.
To see us at 4:30 in the afternoon, you had to do at least 6 hours of makeup, right?
Yes, well, exactly, yes.
Exactly, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Now, darling, I'm going to ask you, you've had a long and distinguished career, and I want to know, what was it like being a child actor?
It was great. It was. I started when I was 10, 11 years old in a crowd scene in a film called John and Julie. And every time I see that film, I get a lump in my throat because I thought that's the start of my career.
Oh.
The 488th citizen. I mean, you can't see me because it's a crowd scene. then you do a couple of lines, and then, I mean, if I'm at a dinner party and somebody said, well, I used to speak to Alan Rickman. Laurence Olivier said to me, I said, well, Charlie Chaplin once said to me, and they go, the knives were put. What? And I did a movie with Charlie. No, Harry, it wasn't a silent movie. It was a talkie, little devil.
What was he like? What was he like?
I loved it. He was a lovely man. He was, if you were messing around, he wouldn't shout. He just said, I don't think we want that gentleman on the film today. And I was gone. But he showed me how to do a scene where I was picking my nose and singing grand opera. He said, do you know when stars were brightly shining from Tosca? I said, I don't, Mr. Chapman. You just sing what you think is opera, and you pick up the tray, and you go to the oven, you go, oh, shit, and you put the oven down. And so I did this, oh, shit, and he burst out laughing. I said, oh, was that funny? He said, no, Fraser, when I was showing you what to do, an arc light had been resting on the handle, and the handle was hot. I don't want you to swear on the tape. So he took to me then. I got home, my mother said, oh, of course you know it. She opened the music stool and taught me. I went back next day, Mr. Chaplin. I went la 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 la. Fraser. I was very happy what you did yesterday. But you could see he was thinking, this little boy has gone home and done his homework. He hasn't gone home and ran.
Amazing.
So I suggested some comedy to him in the afternoon, and instead of him going, I'm Charlie bloody I'm written, produced, starring, directing. He said, what can I do? And I said, well, you've got a fur hat. If I put some cream in it and you put it on, wouldn't that be funny? He went, no, Fraser, because I'd see the cream. If you make it into a cake and I sit in it, then we have the comedy. He listened to a 10-year-old boy. And that's
wow.
That's wonderful. What a beautiful story.
Isn't that lovely? He listened to 10-year-old kids. Marvellous man, marvellous man.
Wow. And you did something with Dennis Waterman as well, didn't you? Because you put that recently on your Facebook page.
It was on recently, yes. I watched Talking Pictures TV because a lot of my old movies.
I do too. I do.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I love it.
I've been on so many times. I get invited to the staff dance now. But but Dennis and I did Go Kart Go, and I was 20 and he was 16. I was driving, and we had a great fun. We were all Corona. There was me, Jimmy Capon, Carla Challoner, Hugh Halliday, who then became the drummer to Unit 4+2. So we're all mates from school. So great. It was just like getting paid to fool around and drive. We actually had to drive the go-kart. No stuntmen in those days. Children's Film Foundation. Great thing. You got taught. Susan George earlier. Francesca Annis is on next week, I think, at 15 years old. Children's Film Foundation taught you how to act and behave in front of cameras. So when you grow up and you were working with a big star, say like Charlie Chaplin, you weren't scared. It was just a job. This was your job. Camera, there's the writing, and you know the lines.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Fraser, when did Doctor Who arrive? When did that come in your career?
That came about because I'd worked for the BBC with Sean Sutton as a little boy. In fact, the Silver Sword was a thing I started off. I'd been doing a lot of TV before then, and then the Silver Sword sort of put the name to the face. Up until then, it was just, who's that little cherub boy? Who's that cheeky face? So people then, And years later, Innes Lloyd, the producer of Doctor Who, rang me up.
Innes.
Oh, beautiful man. Oh,
Fabulous man.
Oh, yeah.
he rang me up and said, oh, Sean, come and see me for a previous actor. He said, Sean says you can do a Scottish accent. I said, well, yeah, I did, because I did Hunting Tower for Sean Sutton as a little boy. And he's oh, good. Well, I'm doing Doctor Who, 4 episodes, The Highlanders. Do you fancy doing it? I said, yeah, fine. It's okay. Then I'll ring your agent. Well, that was it. No reading, no audition. We just sort of had a cup of tea.
Wow.
And off you go. And then after about 6 weeks, the episode had been going, he took me aside and he put his arm around me and said, Fraser, because he's a Navy man. Fraser, how do you fancy joining the old TARDIS crew for a year? I said, I can't, Sean. He went, oh, don't you like it? I said, no, I've already filmed me getting down to Frensham Ponds, waving goodbye to the TARDIS, and I was staying with my laird and Hannah Gordon. He said, oh, hell with that, we'll film again. So we went to Frensham Ponds, and this time I got into the TARDIS and waved goodbye to Hannah Gordon and Donald Bless. Listen, 3 of the happiest years of my life.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Wonderful man, Patrick Troughton.
How fantastic.
Fabulous.
Oh, Fraser, that's fabulous.
It's still going today, all the connections with Doctor Who.
It is.
You're still one of the most iconic characters and probably one of the few still alive.
Yeah, I've still the longest running companion. I did more episodes than anybody except for 2 Doctors. And I get invited all over to America, to Chicago, New York, doing Doctor Who conventions. And Los Angeles, oh, great. In fact, when I was in Los Angeles 2 years ago, a producer came up and said, oh, Fraser, I'm shooting this film called Blood Corral. Do you fancy doing one scene in it? I went, yeah, sure. Hollywood movie, sure. Yeah. All through Doctor Who.
Yeah, what an amazing life you're still having and had. And we all remember, don't we, This Is Your Life. And
yes.
I wanted to ask you, because all our viewers will remember This Is Your Life vividly. And I know that in '92, Mr. Aspel came up to you and said, Frazer Hines, this is your life. How did that feel at that moment to you?
Well, I was married at the time to my second wife, the Ayatollah, and I was. She had to be obeyed. So I called my first wife. I called Marinade because she left me overnight. But that was another. I digress. She kept answering phones and on telephones, and who's that? Oh, it doesn't matter. And I came home one day. I said, "Oh, darling, I've got next week off, so I'm going to go to the travel agent and we whisk you off on holiday." She went, "Oh, I've got to do some shopping." I went, "What?" She hightailed out the house. She dashed down the road to phone Morag, our producer, and said, "You've given Fraser a week off. He's going on holiday with me, and instead doing This Is Your Life." She said, "Oh, shavings." The next day, oh, hell, I've got a scene to do, one scene. So I went to Doncaster Races, Champagne Day, and then I had one scene, drove to Esholt, got into costume, did a scene with Clive Hornby, lovely, outside the Woolpack. Lovely
Clive.
Great.
And then we're going to do one more take. I went, "That's all right, Clive." Yeah, all right, one more take. We started, and halfway through, Madeline Howard came out, and then Cy Chadwick, and then we're going, what's going, and then Michael Aspel came out and went, "Fraser, you think you're here to film?" And I what I thought was, the little buggers, the cast. I'm always playing practical jokes. They've now got Michael Aspel. He's probably filming somebody else's. Come along and let's get.
And it was you.
Let's pretend. And we'll get him. He'll go, "Oh, thank you." And then they'll go, "Haha, it wasn't you at all." And that's what happened. And of course, I was whisked away. And with Morag took me for a little supper. And I said, "Who's on it?" She said, "I can't tell you. Who's on it? I can't tell you. And of course, a lot of my old girlfriends came on. It was very good of my wife at the time to sort of invite Susan, George, Lisa Goddard, and people like that.
Yes.
It was fantastic. But I had a wonderful time. And Michael said afterward, maybe he says it to everybody, he said, "Fraser, that's one of the best ones I've ever done."
I'm
lovely.
sure he was. Yeah, I'm sure that was right.
The star turn was Rona Knight, who was our principal at Corona School, who we'd all scared of.
Oh, yeah.
She was the star turn, and she came on, and I went down on my knees and I kissed her hand. Then I hugged her. I've been dying to do this since I was 10 years old.
How wonderful.
Lovely lady. Oh, God bless her.
So I've got to take you to Emmerdale now, Fraser.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Emmerdale Farm, as it was then.
Oh,
And
well,
I remember doing In Loving Memory at the same time.
yes. And I was, you were in the makeup, there was this wall with makeup chairs and wake up chairs and all the mirrors and the mirrors. And I was in there getting made up or touched up sort of thing. And they were showing on the telecine on the screen one of my scenes from outside on the farm to check the sort of continuity. And this voice, Sherry Houston's voice, said, "Oh, that's Fraser Hines. Oh, I dreamt about him last night." And I popped my head and I said, "Oh, was it a good dream?" She went, "Oh, no."
I know. I was rather in love with you, Fraser. And
I hate that word,
think
was. I hate that
Was.
word.
No, it's upsetting, was.
Yes.
I
am.
auditioned, I think, to play your wife, but I don't, girlfriend or wife or something, but I didn't get it. I remember
No.
that. I was heartbroken, but it
Well,
was very sad.
I did invite you out though, but you said no. I did.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's not true.
Ooh.
Not true.
Oh, tell her. No, tell her a lie. We went out. We had one date, and at the end of the night, I said, "Can I kiss you goodnight?" She said, "No, Fraser." I said, "One little kiss." She said, "Fraser, no." I said, "Sherry, one kiss." She said, "Fraser, I shouldn't be in bed with you as it is."
Oh, now you've broken my dream, you see.
Oh.
There you go. Fraser, do you still ride? Going very horses?
This is not seemly to ask that question, Sherry, at this
Freudian
point.
slip,
It's very unseemly.
In that context.
No, dear.
No, I haven't ridden for about 5 years since I moved to this house. But there's a Western, I've just found there's a cowboy riding place about 2 miles away. So I'm going to go there because that'll get my riding going, a Western riding, because you stretch the
Oh, I
leg.
might come down and go with you. I'd love
Yes,
to do
sure.
that.
Girls, we're witness to this. You're hearing
I
this
love
now.
that.
They've
I
got a
love
date.
those saddles, those American
Me too.
saddles.
Get back in
yeah.
the saddle.
And you can't fall out.
No, you
fall out.
can't. They're like armchairs, aren't they? They're
They are.
fantastic saddles.
Well, if
Can
you're
I
riding,
just say something to you? A few minutes ago, you said you are the only person apart from me that would remember Unit 4+2.
I remember
are
that.
we, no,
I've still got their LP.
yeah. Well, I was doing panto in Australia year before last, and Hugh came up and we had a meal afterwards. And he lives in Melbourne.
Did you say pantomime in Australia?
Yes, for Bonnie Lithgow. You know Bonnie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Partner Christopher Wood. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely couple. She just said, it came out on Facebook. She had this lovely dress on, and she had a picture with Cliff Richard. And people said, "Oh, gorgeous, darling, lovely, darling, lovely." And I went, "Oh, gorgeous, darling, oh, lovely." And you're not bad either, Bonnie. And she came back saying, I've got your sense of humour. Do you want to do pantomime? I went, "Send me a contract." So I did pantomime for them.
Wow, fabulous.
So did you have to do pantomime in the sunshine? Because I'm very bitter now.
No.
We all are.
It was their winter, Harry, in June, July.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh.
fabulous.
Do you stay in touch with anybody from Emmerdale, Fraser?
Yeah, Chris Chiddle, because I used to.
Of course.
You came to the cricket a few times, Sherry.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
A few times, yeah.
I loved it. I love playing cricket. I love captaining the team and picking the, and everything. Oh, I love the cricket. I miss playing cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can ask you how I got the part in Emmerdale is because I used to date Lisa Goddard, and we split up. We were still friends, so much so I went down for Sunday lunch one day to Recklesham Farmhouse in Farnham, and her father, David Goddard, who I'd worked with as a little boy, he was his PA to Sean Sutton, and I said, "What are you doing, David?" He said, "I'm doing this farming thing, 12 episodes. I've got the mother, I've got the elder son, I'm looking for the younger son." And Lisa said, "Well, Daddy, he's looking at you. Fraser is a good actor, and he speaks
Wow.
Yorkshire. He's Yorkshire,
Lovely.
and if you don't give him the part, Mummy and I will leave home." That's how
That is
Darling, can I say, we were going to talk about your life, and I think I've got your dating history from the beginning now.
uh-huh.
It's true.
Yeah.
So have you done any other films then, Fraser?
Yes, I've got one out at the moment called Lost at Christmas, which was supposed to come out. Well, it's out. Sort of cinemas aren't open. It was a Christmas rom-com. We shot entirely on location, Glencoe, a lovely little place called Glencoe.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, no,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Great story with two very young leading man, and I was a guest star with Sylvester McCoy. We played two sort of Scottish drunks,
Fabulous.
and that's out. And Sundown, I did a two-hander with Caitlin Blackwood. Again, we shot on the Isle of Harris. It won awards in America. It's a two.
Wow.
And they're lovely because they love the Scottish scenery and stuff. But Lost at Christmas, we should have had a premiere in London and a premiere in Edinburgh. But because of lockdown, it's all have to be put.
Yeah, of course.
But when will it come out now, Fraser?
I think the minute it's lockdown is over in sort of June, July, when cinema start opening again, we'll get a premiere. Because it's all Lost at Christmas, we can still see it in summer. It doesn't mean to say you have to go to
exactly.
What do you want to do next?
Well, I did an episode of Doctors, and they liked the character so much that they brought me back for another episode. And Lisa, the writer, Lisa McMillan, she rang me up the other day and said, "Oh, I've been asked to sort of do another episode." So I've been doing Doctors. They're lovely. BBC Birmingham. They're lovely people. If you ever get a chance to do an episode of Doctors, do it. They're lovely people. So I'm just waiting.
That's not too far for you, is it?
No, but they put me on a hotel, which is great because you don't want to be driving down the M62 or
No, ever.
Darling, will you come back and see us again soon?
I'd love to. Then we go Fraser Part 2.
Yes,
Fraser Part 2.
Dating history Part 2.
Oh,
Dating history Part 2.
It's been great fun. I've always wanted to meet. Well, I moved to you, but Harry, I want to spend a longer time with you.
Oh, such a schmoozer.
Listen, I've already got security. It's okay.
Bye, darling. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you. Bye, darling.
Again.
That is so funny. What a joy.
He is a delight.
He is a joy.
He really is.
So we have a pre-record actually coming up right now with the lovely Debbie McGee. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
From one Debbie to another, it's fabulous to meet you. Obviously, in all these years in the business, we were just all saying this. None of us have met you, and it's so weird because we all know each other, don't we? We'd all. Yeah. If I saw you, it's sort of like hi, but how weird never to have met you.
I know for all these years. We can all
but
say
we're putting that to rights now. That's the good thing.
Yeah, lovely.
Exactly. Well, Debbie, I want to ask you, I mean, the question that I'm sure that everybody asked you, I mean, how after all these years, being with one man for all these years, and then, career-wise, personally, how difficult was it for when you, literally, lost your husband and then had to reinvent yourself as yourself? I mean, how difficult was that?
Well, I think from the day after Paul died, I did feel completely lost. You feel like you've been dropped in the ocean and you don't know which way to swim. And I started because I didn't know if anybody would want me without Paul, although I'd always done work on my own. We were so known as a couple working together. And so I started thinking, right, what would I like to do? And what do I think I can do that I could push myself with? Because I've always been, a go-getter. So I started writing motivational speeches and things. I thought I wouldn't get any other work in the business. But then I had a radio show for 12 years on Radio Berkshire. So the Sunday after Paul died, the doctor advised me and said, get back to normal life. So I went back on my radio show. So that kind of got me every Sunday having to go and be normal. And I don't know, you just somehow cope. And I think the first 2.5 years, I just still think I was in shock. And I just did throw myself into work, and I just kept ringing my agent and saying, put me up for this, do that, whatever. And luckily, all sorts of things have just happened to me. And I just can't believe it.
I mean, because you look amazing. You've always looked amazing. And I've always been, a great fan of yours, not just because I'm a Debbie as well. We have to look after each other. The Debbies do, don't we, really?
Yeah.
But I mean, with Paul, with all of the stuff, when you met him, how long were you together?
38 years, 2 weeks short of 38 years.
Oh my goodness, that's so moving.
Goodness.
Yeah. So I kind of don't know how to describe it, but I just have always been a person that I go for everything. And I just thought, I think the thing that kept me going was we had such a great life. And although that kind of felt like that just ended, I just thought I'm the luckiest girl in the world that I'd had this man in my life that we got on work-wise and at home. We laughed every day. And because we both loved the business so much, there was so much about our life that complemented each other. We loved going to the theatre and, you know, coming home and discussing shows or watching movies and talking about people's talent, because we both loved people with talent. So I just kept saying to myself, you know, there's a saying that says you can be sad that they've gone, or you can be happy that you've had them. And I just kept, you know, like a mantra in my head. I kept saying that and kept saying, you know, count your blessings and look at all the people around you that have never had that. And I've got various friends that have never ever had a proper man in their life that would have loved it. And, you know, and then you see people who have been blown up, or, you know, had terrible car accidents and are coping with things, or have lost their children. And those type of things made me strong, because
Brilliant.
I just thought, yes, I've lost him, but look what I had.
Yeah.
And he didn't suffer. And I had no regrets. I can honestly say there isn't any regrets that I had, that I look back and thought, I wished I'd done that. I wish I'd said that to him, or something like that. It really helped. I didn't have those torturous thoughts going on in my mind.
I love your attitude of a glass half full. And I just think that is the most moving thing, to celebrate what was, not more than what wasn't. And it's very moving.
And particularly now, Debbie, with the world that we've just been through and hasn't yet ended. And all the things that people have suffered. I mean, it's good to hear that, because people can take from that and take that to heart. I think it's a lovely thing to say.
Because
no regrets.
Yes, you can't change what's happened. You can't bring them back. So trying to hold on to them actually doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think it took me quite a long time to be able to recall lots of our life. I've always talked about him ever since he died, and made jokes. I mean, I made a joke the day after he died with the undertaker, because that's what Paul would have done. You know, and he lived a long and happy life. It wasn't a tragedy. Death. You know, people have to cope with different types of grief. And the undertaker was actually a friend of ours. He's an actor who was my dame in Panto, I did that 8 years ago. And when he's not working, he's an undertaker. And
I guess you always know you have a job, don't you?
Yeah, he's very camp, you know, and his name's Paul Morse, and he, you know, we knew him well. He'd done Paul's mother's funeral, my dad's, which was quite close to Paul's, actually. All three of them died within 18 months of each other. And the morning after Paul, he died just after midnight. So, you know, all the kind of business stuff about death happened the next morning. And so Morsey, as I call him, rang me up and said, McGee. And I went, hold on a minute. Don't tell me he's woken up, because we've organised the funeral now. And he couldn't believe it, and he laughed and had to put the phone down and ring me back. But that's what Paul would have been like, you know. And I suppose because I've always had a sense of humour, because my dad was Irish with a very big sense of humour, it's what linked Paul and I from the very beginning. When we've had our first conversation on the first show I did with him, we were both early for rehearsals, because we were always people that were early. And I'd got there, the studio hadn't even been opened up, and Paul arrived, and we had some banter, and that's how we clicked then. We were joking with each other, you know. And he always said, you know, he always remembered that, but he always thought I was too young, because I was 20 years younger than him.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, and it's magic, of course. But I understand that you were the first female member of the Magic Circle. Is that true?
It really, yes, it is. I mean, at the time, they didn't want me to say that, because they wanted it to be like, you know, a whole bunch of us got taken in together. But yes, I did. You know, obviously I knew people on the committee, and as soon as the committee that night said they were allowing women in, I had my form in within like 20 minutes. So,
Yes.
you know, but Paul had petitioned to get women in for a long time, and it even sort of threatened to resign from the Magic Circle if they didn't. You know, he was out there for women. So it was wonderful. And then just before Christmas, I'd just become the first woman honorary vice president, which is a huge
Wow.
Congratulations.
you know, and even Paul wasn't that, you know, because they're quite, how can I say, they're quite political, the Magic Circle.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, a lot of them aren't pros, they're all amateurs that love the art of magic, you know, which is fantastic.
Well, Debbie,
yeah.
I did a show called Benidorm, and our writer is Darren Litton.
Yes.
So of course, and that's, you know, he was actually talking to me about you the other day. And so of course he's Magic Circle. And when we were filming, he didn't like doing magic tricks. You know, if you say, oh, come on, do us a trick, you go, no, it doesn't work like that, Sherry. We can't, you know, we just don't do tricks. But suddenly out of the blue, he suddenly, and I love magic and love it. So do you do tricks?
I do, but it's a really weird thing. I've done 2, I think, since Paul died, because I link it so much to him. And like,
yes.
even now, it's 5 years next week. I'm just turning a corner where I can bear to think of him on stage. But up until now, that's the thing with, you know, the tears flow. And so I did one trick for a job where they pushed me to do it. So I did a card trick on Nigel Havers because he loves magic too. So and because I adore Nigel, I thought, right, I'm going to do it.
You can do it.
Darling, you're so diverse in all that you've done, but you also have a cookery book, which the other Debbie doesn't cook at all. So we won't go into that now. But please, first of all, tell us all about it, and when can we come round?
Right, anytime, girls. I'd love to have you.
Thank you.
I've always liked cooking, and you know, even when I was living at home with my mum and dad, and I can remember my mum had an operation when she was about 40, and I'm the eldest child of 3, so I had to do the cooking for a month. And at the end of it, my dad said, oh, thank heavens for that, I'm sick of having a different dinner every night and all this fancy stuff, because my dad liked, you know, he was a meat and 2 veg and potatoes man. So I can remember I bought from Woolworths for £10, you know, an electric mixer when I was 15. And you know, I was thinking that because on the news today, I heard that the government are bringing out a law that the companies that do electrical goods have to make them last longer. I don't know if you've heard about this. This morning, and it made me think, I've still got that Woolworths £9.99. I still use it.
What kind of things are in the cookery book, darling?
Well, it was, you know, Paul and I, even at our busiest, always loved having people over. So, you know, over the years, and all my friends, you know, would say, oh, you make it look so easy, Debbie, da, 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 da. They kind of said, please write a book. And so a publishing company came on to me, which made me do it. So it's a dinner party, 1 a month. 3 courses with like a trick or a joke to tell people.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And, you know, all like, you know, okay, you can do this the day before. You know, it's very not basic, but I had done it that this is what you need: a pot, a pan, a wooden spoon, put this on at a certain time and wash your pan up so that you stay organized.
I have to mention Strictly, because you said that you go for everything. And when I was watching you, it was so obvious that you do that. And you were brave, resilient, courageous. And my God, did you fight for that? I mean, it was amazing. How did you enjoy it? How did it feel? I
loved absolutely every second, and I laughed at absolutely every second. The team on Strictly, I can honestly say, with my whole career, you know, I've been in the business nearly 50 years now, that I've never worked on a show where everybody is for you. You know, you've all done shows where you think, I wonder why this director booked me, because they're making me feel, you know, although we all act brave in this business, you know, we all need our confidence boosting.
Of course,
it's natural, isn't
all
it?
the time.
And on Strictly, you know, the makeup girl wanted you to look the best, the cameraman, you know, everybody, the producers and that, all the time were puffing you up and, you know, saying, yeah, just do your best, you know, everybody. And those pros are just incredible because, you know, the celebrities on it get treated like royalty, and cars pick you up every day, and or you don't have to think of much. And the pros, they don't have that except on studio days. And, you know, my lovely Giovanni would be traveling from London out to me in Berkshire, leaving early. And then, you know, at lunchtime, he was always, you know, yeah, let me buy you coffee. I'll get you lunch. If the car was picking me up, he carried, I know he's Italian, but he carried my bags out to the car and, you know, sent me little messages at night about 10 o'clock saying, hope you're getting to bed early, you know, anything worrying you, like a real best girlfriend. I did have a dancing background, you know, I went to Royal Ballet School and then I did some commercial dancing for about 5 years when I first started working with Paul, but it's nothing like what you do on Strictly. It really, and also because I hadn't danced since then, and although I do yoga and Pilates, so I'm, you know, I'm reasonably supple and strong. My cardio has never been good, and when I can remember the third week learning a quick step, I can honestly tell you on the second day I couldn't even get halfway through the dance. I mean, I was so out of breath. And the one thing I really learned that's helped now is Giovanni said to me, darling, go on the treadmill for 10 minutes before you come to rehearsal. So I had to go to the gym before I went to rehearsals, 10 minutes every morning, and you'll be amazed. And, you know, by the third day of doing that, I could get through the dance and my cardio.
Wow. Yeah, it was your attitude, Debbie, more than anything. I mean, obviously your dancing was fantastic, but it was your attitude that I saw. I thought this girl is, you know, she's really positive and she is going for it. And you're, you know, you are a winner. That's the thing.
Thank you. Well, you know, it's kind of a weird thing for me, isn't it? And it's not that I feel, you know, I'm not big-headed or anything. I just get on with my life. But I suppose a lot of my friends have always known what I've been capable of. And I'll only say this to kind of help anybody that's watching. But, you know, I married Paul when I was 29, but I'd known him from when I was 19. But we didn't really start going out properly until I was 27. But from the moment he was committed, because it was always him saying, no, you're too young, I did put my marriage first. Always. And lots of my friends at the time were saying, why don't you do this and push yourself with that, you know? And I'd say no, because, you know, I'm only on this earth for my lifetime, and I don't want to be sitting in a hotel room on my own and Paul in a hotel room on his own. I have my best times when I'm with him. So that's what I did. And lots of my friends didn't agree with me, but you know, that's one of the regrets that I haven't got, because it was the right thing to do. And you know, I had times, I had a ballet company for about 3 years. I got it out of my system, but then I thought, actually, I've proved I can do it, but I'm not spending as much time with Paul. So I said, okay, I've done it, you know, been there, bought the t-shirt and worn it. And I went back to working with Paul. And now that he's not here, I think, oh, thank heavens I did that, because we really made the most of every day. And, you know, we all have life's challenges, but I am a very, very positive person. And I always believe there's a way out of a situation as well.
Wow. Can I just ask you, and what's next for you? What have you got? Any plans for what's next? What you're going to do next?
Amazingly, and, you know, I don't even know if I can act. But
I'm sure you can.
before, because I've never acted, but before we went into lockdown, I'd done a couple of auditions that I got. And one was for a serious play in a tiny little theatre near here, the Millet Sonning. I don't know if anybody
Oh yes,
knows
of course.
it.
Love it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sally Hughes is coming
Yeah.
on soon.
Yes.
Yes. So I've been offered a part in a play called The House on Cold Hill, playing a wacky psychic. And, you know, I had to go and read for the director and everything. She didn't just
Yes.
say, she knew me, you can have it.
Yep.
So that's been pushed back till January next year.
Ah.
And I've also been offered a part in a musical that's going to go on tour that's been shelved. So at the moment, they're still saying it's going to happen. We're just not sure when. So I had those. And I've been booked for a Strictly cruise to host it. I've been so lucky. I've done loads of stuff like this where you don't get paid and you have a great time, and I get to meet people on Zoom that I haven't met that I've loved, you know. And but I've had kind of like 2 jobs a month of TV things or a photo shoot or whatever. So I kept going, kept the bills paid. And so I've written a one-woman show.
Brilliant.
Wow, you brilliant thing.
I'm trying it out at the Millet Sonning in sort of its early stages, shall we say.
We'll be there.
We'd love you to come back because I think everybody, all of our viewers will love your excitement, your vivacity, everything about you is fabulous. We adore you. Thank you.
we'd like
See you,
that.
darling.
Bye.
Bye, darling.
Oh, that was so magnificent.
What a day.
I know.
I know. She is really magical. She's amazing.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
That's
So listen, on Wednesday, let me tell you, we've got my best buddy, Tony Maudsley, coming back to talk about his character of George in Coronation Street, which has taken off completely. So I can't wait to hear.
Can't wait to see it. So anyway, Sherry is in yellow. Is it yellow?
No, peach.
How
It's
does it
peach.
look yellow to me? Have I gone colourblind?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
all I need to know.
Darling, if she says peach, it's peach.
It's
Please
peach.
don't cross her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it looks gorgeous, and so do you.
Very peachy.
In your lovely hat. Everybody's very sort of stylish today, with the exception of me.
Absolutely.
Of
Of
course.
course,
Not this
darling.
one, dear.
Somebody once said to me years ago that my style finishes here, as you've probably noticed on this show. So there you go.
You look
Anyway.
fabulous.
Lovely
I look
flowers,
mad.
though, darling. Lovely flowers.
Thank you.
I think I look like matron. Anyway, goodbye, girls.
It's true.
Goodbye, matron.
Bye.
Bye, matron.